Hi, welcome to Centerville Reports Today. I'm Maureen Russell Hodson. Well, the mild winter is over, folks. We've had our first snowfall, and here to tell us more about how Centerville is handling that snow is our Public Works Director, Doug Spitler, and Public Works Supervisor, Marty Tackett. And thank you both for being here.
Thanks, Maureen.
So if we had planned this show 2 weeks ago, we would say, oh, the snow's out there, but boy, it came down. It came down hard. How many inches did we get?
I'd say in this area, probably 4 to 5.
Okay, yeah. So enough to make driving conditions pretty hazardous, but you all are out there right away. And so what we're going to do today is walk you through how our Public Works Department takes care of snow. So let's say, when do you start preparing? When do you think, okay, we better get the trucks ready?
The trucks are ready right now.
Oh, we're always ready.
We're ready. As leaf season comes, we're picking up leaves. We always have the thought in our mind is when is the first weather storm going to come? So Marty watches, he watches the forecast, he watches weather reports, so he's always watching in advance as far as we accurately can when snow will come. So we're preparing. If we are still collecting leaves,
which we were doing, right?
Which we were doing. We started putting in our minds when we need to convert trucks over, depending on that forecast as it gets closer, when we might need to convert some trucks over. So that's, now that we're converted, we are continually watching the forecast just to see what they're predicting. So
if snow is predicted for, let's say, tomorrow, do you start brining the streets and like today? Or what's your process there?
Yeah, everything kind of depends on several elements. The type of snow we're going to get, the timing of the snow, what the temperature, wind speed. There's so many factors that come into play.
You're like a meteorologist.
Well, we rely on them
I know,
a lot.
Yeah.
So you're only as good as your information, and sometimes they're bound to that as well. Sunday we were expecting an event this past weekend, so we did some pre-treatment. We had a few snow showers Friday night. Sunday rolled around and ended up being all rain, which was good for us. I mean, they missed it, and we benefited from it. And then I think Tuesday, they were saying maybe an inch or two. I think we got 4 or 5, so they missed that. We were prepared, like Doug said. We had our equipment, and we were prepared for it. But so when they answer the question, when we get that forecast, we're looking at how much we're going to get, what's the timing, what's the temperature. We've got an event right now we're preparing for that's going to be early in the Friday evening hours. So tomorrow evening, right now we've got single-digit temperatures outside. You really don't want to be putting brine down below 20 degrees on your pavement temp. So we've got some boundaries with that. We will do some pre-treating for it. We're just waiting for our pavement temps to get up a little bit.
Now when we talk about brine, tell us what brine is, because that's when you see the lines on the roadway, right?
Correct, yeah. When you think of salt brine, it's basically just salt water, so it's diluted salt water. When you apply salt to snow and ice, it has to go into a brine state, and that's what creates that melting action. So when it comes in contact, the salt with the snow and ice, it creates the brine, it starts melting. So we're just getting ahead of that, and we're just applying that salt brine to the pavement ahead of an event. The best way to describe it, if anyone's ever went out and tried to shovel your driveway, if you walk across the driveway and you get your shovel and then you try to clear it off, you may have a difficult time removing the footprints where you walked on top of the snow. And that's exactly what the anti-icing or the salt brine will do. It just eliminates that bond of the pavement. And so when we come through with our salt trucks, we're kind of working that event from the top and the bottom. So now we can apply less material from the top because we're already working on that snow and ice from the bottom.
So if something is expected for tomorrow, we're already preparing for it now.
Correct. We've been looking at that for several days. As soon as we get through one event, we watch the forecast this time of year 24/7. We're constantly watching it and anticipating what it's going to do, and sometimes that changes from day to day.
And so it's too cold right now to put brine down. So what is our preparation? How are we, what will we do if the snow comes?
Right.
It's going to warm up?
Once the temperature gets up a little bit, we're waiting for that pavement temp to come up. And it's more pavement temp versus air temp. So, mid-afternoon with the sun, that heats our pavements up, so we should be able to get out and put some brine down.
Okay, and we have to always give a shout out to our guys who are out there clearing the roads, because you know what, they make sure that we get to work, our kids get to school, which kids aren't always so excited about. Right. But I mean, they might get a call at 2 o'clock in the morning and they're out and going, right?
They are.
How do we get that first call?
Usually our PD.
Okay.
Our PD. I won't say that exclusively because Marty is always watching it, and I know the other day when he said there was a snow event coming, he said he would get up a little bit early in the morning, check things. try to go back to sleep, but if he knows it's coming, he's watching as well. But our PD is the eyes and ears as well. Not all of us live in Centerville, so things could be happening different in different parts of the area, and they're watching it because they're patrolling the streets, and they will typically give the call if we're not already involved in coming in. But an example the other night, our guys came in a little early, about an hour before they were to be clocked in, and they come in, and then they stayed till, I think it was 9 o'clock that night. So very long day for them, so you're right, our guys are quick to respond and stay until it's all done. So it's compliments to them.
And it depends on the amount of snow or how heavy it is, about how many drivers will go out, or how does that work?
Correct. We do have 6 routes within the city, so we've got 6 designated areas, and during most events, that's what we would send out as a driver per route. When we get into the residentials and the cleanup stages, if it's during normal work hours, we have other trucks with plows, and we will distribute as many trucks and employees as we can to help get things cleaned up.
Okay, and this is, I know, the #1 question. When are you going to get to my street? When am I going to get cleared? And so we're going to take you through, because really it makes sense how you all clear streets. So let's walk people through your priority streets or what.
Okay. They start with the major streets, so anything that's the state route obviously is a priority route.
And Centerville clears that, right?
We
Let's
do.
make sure
In the
people
city of
understand
Centerville, state routes are cleared by the city of Centerville. Townships, counties, they do not clear those. ODOT will clear those, but in the city of Centerville, we do clear state routes. We do not clear the interstate, but we clear the state routes. So we start with those heavily traveled routes, anything that would have a hill or a bridge, anything that would have potentially a school, depending on schools in session, or even a fire station would be a priority route. So our drivers are dispatched to those priority routes, to their route, and then within their route they have those priorities. So they each have a highest priority. They would have a secondary priority, which is kind of our collector streets, which is kind of a tier down. Still a lot of neighborhood streets come out to a collector, but they're not quite the heaviest traveled streets. And then finally our residential streets. And at any time, if we get the streets in good enough shape on our priority routes, we start moving into the less priority routes. We could get called back on the priorities if snow starts again, or we're having freeze over or needed out on those priority routes.
So if they start your street and more snow is coming down, they have to leave to go out and kind of start from the top again and go out and get the main streets.
Right, exactly.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now once those plows come down, and I think we have some great pictures of some of those big, are they blades or plows that are in the front
of the truck?
Yeah.
Yep.
When they're going down your street, to avoid being plowed in, there we go. There were some steps too that we can, or some tips for residents that they want to do. So when you're shoveling your own driveway, you should be putting snow where?
As you're facing your house on the right side. No, on the left side.
Yep.
On the left side. If you're facing your house on the left side. We can try to minimize it. We can't prevent it. It's just the nature of the snowplow, how it windrows material. But if you think about it, if you're putting more material kind of downstream of your driveway, that plow's got less material that it's going to deposit across your driveway. So facing your house on the left-hand side. Remove
your car from the street as well,
sure,
right?
Yeah. Anytime we can get those streets cleared, better without parked cars and vehicles in the way. We certainly do a better job doing that without parked cars.
And should you somehow mark your mailbox or put one of those?
You can if you want to.
What are those things called that you can
just
stick
a
it?
little marker, little marker stake. A lot of times if there's areas that we are close to, or the curb's not well delineated, we'll put up a few of our own markers.
Okay.
If people want to do that, that's fine. A lot of times we don't actually contact the mailbox, but it's the weight of the snow that hits the mailbox.
Okay.
It can be old mailbox posts too that aren't very structurally sound, and a little bit of snow, like we just had, a little wet, heavy snow being thrown from the snowplow will just knock that mailbox off. But sure, if people want to mark anything out there, that's great.
Okay, yeah, and I know that they are appreciative, because I know that they'll stop one of our drivers, give them a cup of coffee, and but they do have some long shifts, but they also get a break, so we make sure that they're well rested when they go out there,
That's
right?
Absolutely.
And so we have six routes, and we also have, isn't there a truck that kind of can do a little bit of everything? I'm trying to remember what the name of it is, but it's kind of outfitted for a lot of different areas.
Yeah, it might be our swap loader truck.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, we do have one that's, it's kind of like the transformer truck.
Yeah, the
I think
transformer, that's what it
nicknamed
is, yeah.
It has the ability to have a roll-off dump bed and then a roll-off brine tank. We use it for leaf removal, so it's a roll-off box, and we can just use it for various things.
So, and that was created in-house.
It was, yeah.
So when we talk about our talented crew and how dedicated they are, That's a pretty cool thing as well.
It really is. It's very versatile. That way you don't have that truck limited to just one time of the year. It can be used throughout the year. So it's a great use of that piece of equipment. And
for those of you who may not be familiar, our Public Works Center is what, just 5 years old?
5 years old.
5 years old.
Yep.
7970 South Suburban. There it is. It's a lovely place to visit. And that was, of course, in different time of year before all this white stuff came. So again, when you are all out clearing the roads, anything else that motorists should they stay back, stay away, something like that?
Absolutely. Marty had a great graphic. He was showing a police department presentation this morning, and stopping distance just increases dramatically when you have any kind of even wet surface, and we try to keep the roads in a wet or slushy condition, as he pointed out. But your braking distance is a minimum of twice the normal amount on a dry pavement. So obviously motorists should brake early and often. A lot of our trucks now, I shouldn't say a lot, 2 of our trucks have a wing plow, so it has a plow on the front, but also has a plow off to the side. Some motorists are creeping up behind those, and we have lights delineating those, but they should not try to pass that truck. They could get caught up behind the truck, and the driver's watching a lot of different views, so he may not be able to see that if they get tucked up behind that. But they're clearly delineated, they have lights flashing on it, but it is kind of a newer thing that we're using here in the city. I know ODOT uses it a lot on the interstates, but in the city we've got a couple of those trucks out there now.
Okay, so you need to make sure that you have assured clear distance. Yeah, because that is quite a
That's
couple,
one of them right there.
Yeah. And then we also want to let you know that if you need help shoveling your driveway or shoveling your walk, the City of Centerville maintains a list of volunteers and services who can assist you. So you can call 433-7151. We'll be glad to provide you with that information. Also, if you are a volunteer group, if you're a family, scout group, youth group, and you would like to volunteer, or if you have a service that provides those services, please call us and we'd be glad to add you to our list as well. Again, that's 433-7151. We do have quite a few folks who need that. Before we wrap up here, I want to talk about so many services, other things that can happen, but if for some reason you didn't get your leaves raked and it's too late now with all the snow, but you can get a special pickup and get rid of those leaves, right?
That's correct. They have to be bagged, unfortunately, and that's a big task for some people, but they'd have to be bagged. You can get a special pickup. That is a special fee, a service that we provide. You call the Public Works Center and we can schedule that pickup on a Tuesday or Thursday. Okay.
And then also if you have some branches that come down, maybe with the weather, you have brush drop off as well.
We do. Now that is a free service. That's every Wednesday at our Public Works Center here with the information on the screen. We also do it the 3rd Saturday of every month from 9 to 12.
And this is something where you actually bring it in.
Residents bring it in to us, that's correct. And then we actually mulch it up, so it's a free service that we provide, but residents have to bring it to us, and it's kind of recycled then throughout the city.
And then every spring we do a free bulk item pickup, but if for some reason, you know, after holidays you're cleaning out your basement or your garage and you've got some things, you can also call and get a pickup service as well.
That's correct. It's the same special pickup. We typically ask if it's going to be brush or if it's going to be just regular refuse material, so we know what type of equipment to send. But it's the same thing. Call our Public Works Center. It's a special charge for that. It's $35 for a half an hour's worth of pickup, and there's a little small additional fee if it goes longer than that, but most can be picked up in that half hour.
Okay, so lots of great services that are offered by our Public Works Department. You can call 428-4782 for more information about the services that are offered. And also the website's a good place to go because a lot of things are going on. There's a lot of we didn't even get to talk about all the engineering stuff and recycling, and we always want you to recycle. But for more information, you can check out our website, which is centervilleohio.gov, or call 428-4782. And for sure, when you see a plow or any of our guys or gals out working alongside the road, anywhere, always use caution, right?
Slow down, give them a little break,
Yeah, slow down and give them a little break.
That's right.
Good advice from Doug Spitler. Okay, guys, thanks so much. I know you've got to get out there and get ready for the next snow event. Thanks for watching. For more information, you can call the City of Centerville at 433-7151 or visit our website, centervilleohio.gov. That's going to do it for us. Be safe out there. We'll see you next time.